James Kaufman, World News Report today. CNN's Abby Phillip justifies doxing ICE agents and their families. That should be a criminal offense if it's not one, but it's okay with all the left liberals, as those illegals were their only chance on taking control and power back of this once great nation that they did their best to try and ruin. CNN's Abby Phillip seems to be okay with the increased threats against ICE agents and their families. According to Phillip, those are risks that they just have to take. How would you like it if someone disclosed your home address and cell phone number, Abby? Violent attacks on federal agents enforcing immigration laws have skyrocketed since the Trump administration ramped up enforcement upon his return to the White House. According to the Department of Homeland Security, Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE officials are facing an 830% increase in assaults from January 21st to July 14th compared to the same period in 2024. Scott Jennings posted on X, at ICE agents are being attacked, doxxed, locations of their children's schools posted online, and the left pretends not to understand why they're wearing masks? No, this isn't just part of the job. It's a byproduct of Democratic unhinged and irresponsible rhetoric and hate, he should have added. Let's listen to what he has to say.
I was going to say something.
On the masks, I actually interviewed the director of ICE today, Todd Lyons, on my radio show for about 20 minutes. I asked him point blank about the masks. I said, what is the situation with the masks? Why is it happening? What is your observation? He said, I don't like the masks. I wish we didn't have to do the masks. He said back in March we weren't. But then something changed. And what changed was people started doxing these ICE agents, posting their personal information, posting where their families are, posting where their kids' schools are, putting them and their families in jeopardy. And he doesn't want them to have to do it.
But that is a risk that every law enforcement officer in this country faces. Everyone.
You think they deserve, you think they should face that risk?
Listen, I'm not saying that that is right. I'm not saying that is good. It's terrible. No one should be doxxed. No one's families should be brought into their work. But what I am saying is that there are beat officers in this country, in every city in America, who are doing their jobs in extremely dangerous situations. That's a risk that you take when you take on this responsibility of having law enforcement power in this country, because the accountability is between you and the people.
Yeah, well, I don't agree that law enforcement officers in any agency should have to face the risk of their family being assaulted or themselves.
I don't agree with that either, but I do think that the accountability piece of it cannot be ignored.
Do you
think that there should not be
they're always the persecutor and then the victim.
Law enforcement, regardless of what agency they represent?
Of course there should be accountability, and I agree with you about the relationship between policing agencies and the community. Unfortunately, in this case, certain people in our community have decided to take matters in their own hands. I heard a clip today of a congressman named John Larson from Minnesota screaming into a microphone, "This is Nazi Germany, they're the Gestapo." What do you think that does to radicalize people? That is irresponsible, and it's not the fault of an ICE agent for that kind of rhetoric to be in our...
And let me just add to all that, the mainstream media, especially CNN and liberal left media, is a huge part of the problem. They've been grooming these liberal nuts for years now. God bless. Please say a prayer for an ICE agent and his family. Please subscribe if you haven't, and always remember that anything's possible in Bizarro World.